Hey guys, this is Erin again from Imperfectly Perfect You. Welcome back. Last week we talked about some really difficult statistics on suicide and mental illness in the United States. This week I wanted to take some of that data and make it more easy to digest and understand exactly what's going on with panic disorder and why suicide rates are so high among those experiencing panic disorder. I've been doing some research and I've come across a number of different research articles on panic disorder. One of them was from 1987. It was published in 1987, and it talks about a gentleman who experienced panic disorder in the 1960s. I was really, frankly, surprised to read this article because what he was experiencing was so similar to what I went through around 2015. You would think that in between the time that he experienced this in the 60s and between when I experienced it in 2015, so almost 50 years later, that we would have advanced our understanding of panic disorder. That is really disconcerting to me and really upsetting to me that there are many medical and mental health professionals that, while well-intentioned, still don't recognize panic disorder. If it's helpful to you to understand why panic disorder can be fatal, why people want to take their lives when they go through panic disorder, I'm going to read from this 1987 article to give you an idea of what this gentleman experienced. This article is called "The Economic and Social Costs of Panic Disorder." Came out, as mentioned, in 1987 by Matthew Edlund and Alan Swan. The case example they cited in this article is about a gentleman named C.L. C.L. is a 54-year-old man who suffers from panic and agoraphobia. In October 1960, he was a successful accountant in a major corporation, newly promoted. He began to have paralyzing panic attacks that none of his physicians would understand. He spent more than 2 months in the hospital with several attacks a day. He could think about nothing else except his attacks, and no treatment seemed to help. He went back to work, but the attacks increased in number and severity, one worse than the next. And after 1 week at work, he quit for good. Mr. Owl became housebound, unable to leave his home or to drive a car. His wife went to work to support the family. In 1967, he was divorced. He began to drink as a way of mitigating his overwhelming anxiety and ended up hospitalized for detoxification twice. In the last few years, he has been able to drive around the neighborhood, act as a Boy Scout troop leader, and on rare occasions take a plane ride. He still, however, hates leaving the house. He has not worked since 1960. The case of Mr. C illustrates the high economic and societal costs of panic disorder. The reason that this article resonated to me is because this felt eerily similar to what I experienced when I finally hit rock bottom. I had been what some might consider on an upward career trajectory. I had always done well in school. I had always excelled. I received my MBA in marketing from Wharton in 2009. Subsequently, I worked in various hybrid marketing and finance roles. And over time, my generalized anxiety seemed to morph into panic disorder. I did not know what was happening at the time. It was probably in my mid-20s that I started to experiencing what I recognized as panic-like symptoms. I would be in situations with people that I cared about, people that I knew that had always been very kind to me, and I just felt this urgent need to try to escape. I didn't know it was happening. And then I think it was maybe in 2007 that I was at a business conference, a financial business conference, and I had gotten up to speak in front of a large group of people. There were probably several hundred people. I was only going to speak for a minute. I had written a couple of words down on a piece of paper. Of course, I didn't write it down verbatim what I was going to say because I didn't think this was going to be a big deal. But I stood up, and this is when the first panic attack hit me. It's like, boom. My head started spinning. I had that feeling of derealization, depersonalization. I couldn't focus. I was shaking, and all I could do was read off the words on my piece of paper, which of course didn't make any sense because they were not coherent sentences. And then I sat down, and it was awful. I thought, what is happening? What just happened? I went from being able to speak in front of people confidently to having this sort of attack episode. And then after that, I started having panic-like symptoms anytime I was speaking in front of a group of people. I always felt this need where I had to escape. I'd want to run to the bathroom to try and get away from these feelings. And over time, just like the gentleman that is in this 1987 article, I hit rock bottom where I was not even able to work because I was experiencing panic symptoms so many times a day. Anyway, I wanted to give this example to you to let you know that this has been going on for so long, and it's only now, panic disorder is only now being recognized as a serious mental illness. So if you're suffering right now, you are not alone. I promise you that you can get better. Thank you so much.